No, I've never been someone shy until I seen your eyes. Still, I had to try. Yeah. Oh, yes. Let me get my words right and then approach you. Woman, I'll treat you like a man is supposed to. You'll never have to cry. No. I know everyone can relate to when they find a special someone. And she's royal, yeah, so royal. And I want her in my life. I never knew anyone so one of a kind. No, the way she moves to her own beat, she has the qualities of a queen. She's a queen. Ooh, ooh, what a natural beauty. No need no makeup to be a cutie. She's a queen. She's a queen. And when they ask what a good woman's made of, she's not afraid and ashamed of who she is. She's royal, yeah, so royal. And I need her in my life. I never knew anyone so one of a kind until the night that I seen her rise. Oh, my queen, so supreme. I can see it in her eyes, the way she smiles. Hey, yes, I and I know the king and queen crown, see I'm tied. So I never leave your side. Just stick with me through the trial times. Oh, and she says she no mind. Correct, I know good man is hard to find. Cause she can't about that giant line. That's why she has no ties at this time. Yeah, I know many men are trying, but she needs to be more than wine and dine because she's royal, yeah, so royal, and I want her in my life. I never knew anyone so divine. Oh, the way she moves to her own beat, she has the qualities of a queen, so supreme. Ooh, ooh, what a natural beauty. No need no makeup to be a cutie. She's a queen, so supreme. Yeah. And when they ask what a good woman's made of, she's not afraid and ashamed of who she is. She's royal, yeah, so royal. And I want her in my life. I never knew anyone so one of a kind. No, no, the way she moves to her own beat, she has the qualities of a queen. My Nubian queen. Ooh, ooh.
Well, a very pleasant good evening and welcome to Fusion, our new show, Fusion with Ken and or Linda and Ken. And I am so glad that today is the first time we are doing the show together. So we are now feeding out each other's hosts of this show. We plan to do it probably once or twice a month. Let's see how things go. But what's more importantly, I am so honored. I'm so glad that we have a young doctor in the house, Dr. Shaggy Knott, who's here and would put things in perspective for us. And there's so many things that we need to talk about medication and medication safety. So as a nurse and he is a doctor, and we have Linda here with I know that she's a seasoned television personality, so would be a great team. And the good thing is that I'm so glad that I first am meeting Mr. Knott, Dr. Knott. So later on in future shows, we will talk a lot of things that I have in mind and Linda have in mind that we can educate our community and we so glad that you are here. How are you doing? And welcome to our show. You are our first guest star.
Wow, I'm very honored. Thank you so much. Nice meeting you guys. Yeah, this is a new experience for me too. I'm glad I'm here to like educate and show like more awareness as to what a pharmacist does and what a pharmacy can do for patients. Yeah.
Great. We're so happy to have you here today. I just want to say thank you all for being supportive of us and supporting the show. I am so happy. We've been talking about this for so long and it's finally happening. Thank you, Ryan. And thank you, all the viewers, for watching. We're going to have a lot of shows more coming up on empowering us to do better, to live healthier lives, and take care of our bodies so we can live longer. I'm so happy that Nath is here with us tonight. Thank you for watching the Fusion Vibes show on Island Zone Radio. Thank you so much, Kenneth, for being here and for just giving me this opportunity to do this because you feel the same vision that I have for helping others. You share the same thing. And now, thank you so much. I know how hard it is working in the pharmacy and to get a break to come on the show.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you. Yeah.
and now, your pharmacy is called Modern Pharmacy Incorporated,
Yep.
and you are located at 9502 Van Wyck Expressway,
Yep.
South Richmond.
Yep.
So, tell me a little bit about what it's like being a pharmacist and all the questions you get from us.
Well, being a pharmacist,
What's
being
your
a
role?
specifically a retail pharmacist, such as myself, we handle patient care as like the forefront. So once the patient leaves the hospital or like their doctor office, they go straight to us. And what we do is we dispense their medications. We counsel them on how to take the medication. We also assist in their medication management. And what that means is like any other medications that they may have to see if there's any interactions. And with those interactions to see if like did the doctor prescribe this correctly? And then we like have to change something, whether there's true or like is the patient meeting their goals? A lot of times we get like a lot of diabetic medications. And with that, there's a lot of complications because there's just so many diabetic medications that a patient can take, so getting the dosage right and like their insulin dosage correctly to make sure that they're following up is very important. So that's what we got to do.
I've noticed that with a lot of the diabetic medications, like say metformin, I'm just giving an
Yeah.
example. For metformin, when people use it and they're dealing with antibiotics, it causes a lot of problems with the stomach,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you can get allergic reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is this, because recently I've been in the hospital and came out and I had allergic reaction, and that was because the metformin didn't work with my antibiotic.
All right.
How come the pharmacist didn't notify me of that?
So this is why typically I'm not gonna like lie because like if it's like from like a chain
But you
pharmacy,
told the truth.
yeah, of course. 'Cause, like, typically chain pharmacies like Walgreens or CVS, not to throw them under the bus, they're overwhelmed with the number of prescriptions. So things can slip under the rug. Also, another thing is everybody's different. So what may have like shown you an allergic reaction, another patient was probably perfectly fine with metformin and the antibiotic. So it's really hard to say as to why the pharmacist didn't catch it because everybody's different. And also the severity of the allergic reaction matters too. Because typically for like mild allergic reactions, they would just call their doctor, switch it to something else. But if it's something like really minor, like stomach discomfort, they can kind of power through it until the regimen is finished, and then they're perfectly fine. You
Okay.
know?
I'm glad that you talk about allergic reaction because a couple of weeks ago, I had an allergic reaction to peanuts.
Mm.
Mm.
And I got to be honest with you, I start coughing and I could not stop for like 45 minutes. And I want to tell you that it's different from everybody else. I was lucky that I was coughing. Some people, their throat start to lock off,
Oh, that's true.
close up on them. And I had that experience before. Um, so we will talk more about that though later on because I know we have questions on that. So it all depends on what reaction you're having, and that will determine what action you take initially.
Yeah.
Like for me, I was just coughing. I could have dealt with it. But if you're not breathing and it's affecting your breathing, then you you need to call 911, but we will go and talk about it later on,
Yeah, sure.
right?
Yeah, of course. There's different degrees of allergic reactions. Some that are like so severe, you have to immediately call the hospital and immediately get to the hospital like right away. But those are very rare, typically. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You know what comes to mind, Ken? Um, when we take these medications, I'm losing my train of thought right now. No,
that's
when
fine.
no, it's my phone. I can't shut it off at this moment.
Can't.
Keep
Oh,
going.
sorry. Oh yeah, go ahead.
What I was saying was with the medications and the allergic reaction. What is your job exactly? Tell us from a day to day what you do besides dispersing the medication. You told us that you have to go through with the doctors, make sure everything's okay. So that does make sense that a larger pharmacy wouldn't have the time to do
Yeah.
that as much as a
Yeah.
smaller pharmacy would give you more care.
Yeah.
So your pharmacy must be doing a great job
Yep.
because you do the one-on-one counsel with
Hmm.
your patients. Um, I wanted to know about the medicine, and I keep losing my train of thought. When we take these pills, is there a certain way we should take them?
Hmm.
A certain time? A certain diet we should have?
Right. So you asked me a couple of questions, but first let me iterate some points. The first one is the chain pharmacies. There's actually back in the day, actually, um, the chain pharmacies or pharmacies in general wouldn't let pharmacists have lunch breaks.
Oh wow.
Believe it or not, they wouldn't have lunch breaks, but now it's like mandated because of something called pharmacist fatigue. And pharmacists are so overworked that there were actually cases of pharmacists who like passed away from like stress.
Right, right.
Right. So now what they've implemented is like a lunch, like they have to close the whole pharmacy
Oh
just for lunch.
really?
Yeah, CVS does it, Walgreens does it. But now to just like iterate, I'm a independent pharmacy. I work for an independent pharmacy. So what
Right.
that means is like it's a local pharmacy. It's not a chain. So it is more one-on-one and it's more personable. So like you get to really know your community more, and they know me by name. Like I have patients who just only ask for me, which is perfectly fine, you know. So like you wouldn't really get that at like a CVS or like a Walgreens because the staff is always rotating, and there's not that one-on-one connection like that. As far as for the other questions that you asked about like how to take the medication, certain medications you do take with food because that's just to prevent stomach discomfort. Certain medications you have to avoid certain things, such as like this is a very common one, and not a lot of people know this one. Is a grapefruit.
Right.
Grapefruit and grapefruit juice interacts with a plethora of I'm trying to use a new word,
No, it's
honestly.
okay.
Yeah,
Plethora.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm trying to,
Yeah.
yeah, they try to like it interacts with a lot of medications. So avoiding grapefruit juice is very key because it's so common. Um, if you're on blood thinners, you have to watch your like vitamin K intake. So this goes with diet. Vitamin K is in like spinach and your leafy greens,
Kale.
kale, exactly. So if you're on blood thinners, you have to like have a consistent diet of vitamin K. If it's too much, the medication isn't as effective. If it's too little, you're not like in your therapeutic range, so you're gonna start, bleeding, which is very dangerous. So certain things like that, yeah, it's important to like keep a consistent diet and just ask your pharmacist, how do I just ask them a question, how do I take this? And always like, you know, I hate to sometimes say this, but I'm so like matter of fact with some of my patients. I'm just like, hey, Google is free. You know what I mean?
Right,
You
right,
know what I mean? And even with that, like if you still don't understand it, that's when you can ask. Like, okay, it says this, but what does that really mean? Which is fine. That's what we're here for.
I'm glad that you said Google is free, but I'm going to tell you something
Yeah.
where what the experience that I have with
Misinformation.
No, that's very true.
patients. Like patient will tell me, listen, I'm not going to take this aspirin because when I read the amount of reaction
Mm-hmm.
it's going to cause on
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm not going to take it. But I want to tell, we could talk a little bit about it, but probably you could talk about it.
Yeah.
That when we read these information on Google, what does it really mean? Is it they're just doing this for that nobody sues them, or
Yeah.
just
So here's my opinion on that. Although Google is free, not all information is equal, right?
right,
So what that means is like certain sources are not as credible. Like if let's say I'm reading something that says aspirin is bad from like a website that's kind of shady.
right,
Why would I listen to the opinion of that
right,
when I can actually just type in the drug website, like Bayer, BayerAspirin.com? They're the ones who actually made the drug. So I can go into their profile, their drug information sheet, and read their studies on it. And like that's more valuable because you actually see why is this effective? What am I looking at? You know?
Well, can I stop you there? I
Yeah, go
don't
ahead.
agree with that.
Okay.
Because if you're gonna, sorry, if you're gonna go to Bayer, Bayer is gonna talk only good things,
Yeah, of course.
and they're only gonna say whatever good summaries come out of these testings and surveys. So I would think I would want to go to a unbiased
Right.
one that's not choosing a certain type of aspirin
Right.
and talk to the doctor. That's why we have you guys.
Right. So just to like refute that, so basically you should start your research with that, right? And then go to other websites such as this one's what every doctor uses. It's called PubMed, and it's public medical information. You can type in the drug there, and it's clinical journals from like reputable like sources that like are unbiased, and you have to like really seek out which one is like important. And what I mean by that is like just seek out the information and just really try to learn. Because a lot of times I feel like patients they kind of expect like the doctor and the pharmacist to kind of hold their hand through every little thing. Like, you know, it gets to a point where like I have to go to their house and just feed them. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
That would be nice.
That
I've never experienced that with
yeah.
my doctor.
Yeah,
But
so it's just
you
like
know.
kind of crazy because at some point, where's the personal accountability? Which is actually what I've been trying to like teach my patients. Like, where's the personal accountability? Like, hey, listen, you're diabetic. If you want to get better, let's work on your diet. Let's talk about hitting the gym. Blah blah blah. And then with that, they start seeing more results better than what they've always been doing, which is just taking the medication or like inconsistently taking the medication a lot of times, and then just praying that it's gonna be better.
Hmm.
So I try to teach personal accountability.
That's
No,
good.
that's great. Go ahead.
I think that, and I've always tell people that as a patient, you are your own advocate, and that's one thing that we are saying. Go get information,
Yeah.
not just because the doctor tell you something that means he's right. But the thing is that it is important that you follow your doctor's order and the pharmacist too, because in my experience, I like the idea of a nurse and a pharmacist
Mhm.
because what happened in case the doctor make a mistake in writing an order, let's say take aspirin twice a day, the pharmacy or the pharmacist will pick up that that's you should really give aspirin once a day
Yeah.
and not two times a day. So that's where you guys come in very important,
Yeah.
and that's why you need to go to a reputable pharmacy to get your medication. Somewhere that where you can trust your pharmacy.
Yeah.
And this is a young man. He's a doctor, which I'm proud of him. And I know that he will go on to do great things ahead in the near future. So I'm sure that he knows a lot, and then having his pharmacy doctorate is good. So let's talk about the trust. We have to trust our pharmacists.
Yes.
We have to trust our doctors.
Yes.
It's important because these are things that we are putting into our system, right?
100%. To add on to that, yes, it's important to trust, but I say like don't blindly trust every doctor, don't blindly trust every pharmacist. At the end of the day, you should like do your own research. And
No, I agree with you.
yeah,
But sometimes patients do their own research and they think they're the doctors and the pharmacists themselves.
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
Oh
that
yeah.
cannot be a good thing,
yeah,
also. So it's
yeah.
like a team. I'm sorry about that. It's like a team. My mic is giving me a little trouble.
Mhm.
But it's like a team effort.
Mhm.
Everyone has to play a part in this. And you could die from taking the wrong medication.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And sometimes you're in the hospital and the nurses want to give you the wrong medicine. Today, the healthcare system is so different from what it was years ago, and they're inundated with patients. You can't blame them when they make a mistake, but then you can because the person's life
Yep.
is at hand. I think they need to hire more nurses right now.
Yep.
The wards are over, they're so crowded. They only have time for certain patients, and you're on your own. And then they have these aides in the hospital. No offense, there's some good ones and there's some good nurses. But there's some aides that don't even want to come and check up and do anything for you.
Right.
Right.
So, I mean, we're going off topic.
Yeah, yeah.
But to go back to the topic of medicine, medicine is very important. The healthcare team is very important. And we need to be knowledgeable and to keep pushing for them to do more in this healthcare system because every life matters.
Yep.
And even though you may think something's little, it's not little Because when that other person dies from taking the wrong medication, when they could have been saved, when that person has an allergic reaction, doesn't know what to do, and hangs in there too long, that goes to my next question. How long and what are the symptoms that you should definitely call 911?
Difficult breathing, painful, like like a lot of pain, swelling. You're gonna look for redness. This is called like anaphylactic shock. With that, immediately call 911, or better case, but you still have to call 911. Have an EpiPen. An EpiPen is always like the best bet to like buy you some time till you get to the hospital.
Explain so the viewers that don't know or maybe not knowledgeable about the EpiPen and how it works.
Okay, so EpiPen is basically epinephrine, which what it does is it helps with the allergic reaction that patients can get. And this is not just with medication, it's just with anything like peanut butter, for
Right,
example,
right,
right? Like if you have like a peanut butter allergy, you're gonna have difficulty breathing. What EpiPen does is pretty much like once you inject it to yourself, it opens up your airways to at least give you that breath. So that will help buy some time for when the ambulance gets to you to like really treat you and then reduce the the reaction.
Is that what happened to you,
yeah,
Ken,
but
with the
it's
breathing?
important. No, mine wasn't breathing, mine was coughing. But it's important. And I'm glad you say to buy time, because if you have to use that EpiPen, that's not to use and stay home.
Yeah.
It's to use to buy time to go to the hospital so they could manage the rest of your symptoms
Yeah,
on
because
this
it could
side.
come back even
Yeah.
after the EpiPen,
Right.
you know? So like they just want to like monitor
Make
your
sure you're
symptoms.
safe.
Yeah, and just keep the airways open.
Right, right. Um, let's talk about your see advocacy and health promotion. Educate. You talk about educating our clients, and which is a very good thing.
Yep.
Um, how you manage the clients who come in who don't know anything?
Uh, a lot of patience.
Oh, really?
I mean, they're called patients for a reason, right? You got to give them a lot of patience. So, I mean, I take it as like a teaching experience, really. I feel like more of a teacher than a pharmacist
Oh,
sometimes.
really?
Yeah,
Well,
which
it's
is
good for
fine.
you too because you got to be on your toes.
Yeah, it keeps me sharp because I
Yeah.
have to be sharp or else,
Right.
you know. Not a lot of pharmacists think the way I think. A lot of people, a lot of pharmacists just kind of like, oh, just ask your doctor. They just push it off to the next person.
Oh.
You
I
have
hate
to
that.
care about your
Yeah,
patient.
yeah,
They're
like
what keep you in business.
yeah. Back when I used to like in the pharmacy industry, like I had to be an intern first, but I was at like a different store. I used to work
Well,
at Dwayne Reed for a while,
yeah.
and whoever the pharmacist was, they just didn't really have that passion, really. But I don't blame them
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's chain pharmacy and they're just overloaded with work. And also, some people just don't have the mentality; they just see it 9 to 5. Let's get out of here.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it's different when you're like your own entrepreneur for your own, uh, pharmacy, and also like you get a connection with your local patients because they walk in or whatever, and you call the same patients, so you always ask, oh, how you doing, blah blah blah.
Right.
So I see it as if a new patient comes in, they don't know anything. I just start from the beginning as to like, do you know why you're taking this medication? I ask them a question, and then see where I have to educate them. Where do I fill in the gaps in their knowledge? So like if it's for something for pain, they're like, oh, I think I'm using this for like an antibiotic. I'm like, no, this is for pain.
Right.
Just like, are you
Yeah.
feeling
Yeah.
any pain? And if they
Yes.
say no, not really, so like, okay, so you don't really need this then.
Right.
You know?
So what made you decide to become a pharmacist?
Funny enough, I picked pharmacy from a hat.
From a hat?
From a hat.
Oh,
So
wow.
I had so like in high school, I didn't like always think, oh, pharmacy is my life. You know what I mean? I was just a kid. I didn't really think
Oh,
like,
really?
what do I do with my life, right? So I got a hat. I put like 3 to 5 options in there, which was like computer engineering, dentistry, pharmacy, and two other things or whatever. And
Wow.
pharmacy won 2 of the 3 times. So I'm like,
Oh,
you know
really?
what? I'm just gonna stick to this.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool. Did you do that?
no,
To
no,
become a nurse? Did
no,
you get a hat?
no. I knew I
That's pretty
wanted to be a
cool.
nurse.
I
But
like that.
yeah, now there's a question that's very important with people who are taking pain medication.
Hmm.
We talk about things like opioids,
Yeah.
OxyContin,
Yep.
and so on, oxycodone. And one thing I find, Shaggy,
Yeah.
is that I find some patients, quite a few patients, get addicted to pain medication.
Yep. That's big.
Um, talk to us about the safety of not getting hooked onto, let's say, prescription medication.
Yep. I got you. So funny enough, well, I keep saying funny enough. Anyways, my brother, he had like a leg injury from playing basketball, and he had to get on oxycodone for a bit. And immediately I told him, listen, this stuff is very powerful.
Right.
Use it absolutely necessary when it's like a 10 out of 10 pain.
Pain. Right.
And even then, use it less than how much they actually prescribe it for. Because they
Right.
prescribed like a 2 week supply. I'm like, just use it for like 3 days
Yes.
or like very
Yes.
sparingly. So that's really how you have to gauge it. And yeah, he also knew the how like addictive it can be because he's a police officer. So like he sees, like overdoses on the street all the
Right. Right.
time. So
Right.
he knows how like dangerous it is. So like he having that paranoia also kind of helps. So like he only
Right.
absolutely used it when he was like in real pain.
Excruciating.
So like after his surgery, he used it probably like twice, and he had like a 2 week supply.
Oh wow.
And then the rest he just gave to the pharmacy to like dispose of it. So he does so it's out of sight, out of mind.
Right. Right.
So
Some people sell it on the market too.
yeah.
You know the deal.
Yeah.
You know what goes on.
Yeah, I mean that's also a thing. Patients do sell it, but once it's out of the pharmacy's hands, it's not our it's not our business what you do.
Right.
You know.
Well, I know from my experience when I had my surgery and I didn't want to take the medication, but I was in so much pain, and my nurse said to me, "You got to take it. So you're in that much pain, you got to take it, and then you wean yourself off of it, like you said, only when you really, really need it." Because she saw how much pain I was in, and we do need it sometimes,
Yeah.
and we're afraid to take it. But as soon as you come out of surgery, you should take it. I think that's my personal
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to that.
Yep.
If you need to get advice from a doctor, do that. But I had to, and the nurse told me to do that. And I did it, and then I got off of it because I did not want to get addicted. I was so stuck on getting addicted to it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But I needed it, and it helped me with the pain.
Yeah.
So, there's different ways
Yep.
to look at it.
Yep.
But I was also thinking recently, I had spoken to one of my friends on Facebook, like a sister to me. And she said to me, she went to a doctor years ago. She had a tummy tuck. And I guess the operation may have not went well or whatever. The doctor kept telling her to use this antibiotic. It's going to work. And she had some other medicines that she took. I can't remember all of them. But the bottom line to the story is for years, she was very sick unnecessarily. Only recently, she got to the right doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and the doctor told her, "We need to change your meds, and you need to really take, get more information about what's going on." Because for all these years, she was using the wrong thing, and she was getting worse and worse and worse.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, the pharmacist's job is very vital to our health and how we get better.
Right.
And I applaud what you do. I'm honored by what you do. I like to learn more about medicine. And I like to learn about what do you think this right now, how medicine is going? What do you think would help make it better for the patients and the whole team to be together? Because I know in the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
the pharmacist plays a really big role.
Yeah.
They determine what kind of medicine is to be used on a patient
Yep.
along with the doctor.
Yep.
But that's a certain type of pharmacist.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the difference? Maybe that's the better question
Mm-hmm.
of the role of a pharmacy at home from a pharmacy in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think from overall watching this with the clients and the patients
Mm-hmm.
needs? What would make the healthcare system a little better? With the
Gotcha.
pharmacists?
That's an excellent question. I have my own personal thoughts on it, as in like there's actually a huge scope of pharmacists or like pharmacist titles. There's hospital pharmacy, there's retail pharmacy. These two everybody knows. But then there's also like avenues like nuclear pharmacy, where like you're compounding, which is also another type of thing, compound pharmacy. There's also industry pharmacy, which is like you work for a pharmaceutical company and you just like look through the charts and like advocate for their medication and like see the data, etc. So pharmacy is not just limited to just two, like avenues, hospital, and retail. Okay. To answer the question of like what's the difference really, a hospital pharmacist is more integrated and it's like direct care with the doctor, the nurse, and the patient. So it's like right there, like it's streamlined. The difficulty with retail pharmacists is that like we're not with the doctor all the time. We're not with the patient all the time. So like really it's like a three-way communication bubble that we have to like really solidify. That's why like what I do for my pharmacy is like I personally meet some of the doctors just to introduce myself, just so we can have like a one-on-one connection because not a lot of pharmacists do that either. And then from there they it becomes more personable. people like I feel like see retail pharmacy as like kind of like a machine rather than these are all people. The doctor is a person. They make mistakes. I'm a person. I make mistakes. The patient make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. So there's a human element to it. It's not just like a pharmacy machine.
You're not a robot.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's a robot.
Right on.
Nothing's black and white.
Definitely, you're not a robot. You know, so what do you think are some of the changes that could better the pharmacists
Yeah.
in the team?
So actually, the some of the changes that I would like to see in the pharmacy world is more streamlined communication, as in like it should be like a software where it's like a group chat. Why don't we have that? Why isn't that integrated? That could be like a huge business idea for some software company.
I think that's a brilliant idea
Like,
because I know a lot of times we try to get in touch with my doctor, and it's like, oh my God, you
yeah,
have these problems with the insurance,
yeah,
and
okay,
you
yeah.
cannot get in touch with that doctor, and you need that medication.
Don't get me started on
It's
insurance.
nightmares.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on insurance. Oh my god.
That's a whole nother
Oh man,
topic.
I wish
Yeah, I
insurance
know
was
our
good.
show is just 1 hour, so we will move right along.
Oh.
Um, something that I notice in our community, and a lot of patients, they probably don't know, but when it comes to medication, and we talk about Coumadin and so on,
Yep.
um, what are some of the food that we shouldn't really eat when taking medication?
Right.
And we know, and I want to add, and I really want to put this, that sometimes people think that, it's a good thing to take um, juice,
Grapefruit juice.
grapefruit juice with
Yep.
medication, and we know, right,
Mhm.
that you shouldn't really do that. It
Yep.
causes a whole lot of problems. So that's a no-no,
Yep.
as we know.
Yep.
So what are some of the food that you think we should avoid?
Well, certain things like acidic foods can interfere a lot with some antibiotics. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Like grapefruit juice is a common one. I talked about the vitamin K, which is in
Right.
like leafy greens like spinach, kale,
Right.
etc. So stuff like that has to be consistent. There are other things like dairy can affect a lot of things. If you're on certain like gastric medications, you have to really monitor like the timing that you take that one versus your next medication, because that one's pretty big, you know.
So what about like, can you have like, you said dairy, no, right? What about sugar? How about the sugar intake?
Well, unless you're diabetic, sugar intake doesn't interact really. But obviously, if you're diabetic, you have to like monitor your sugar intake, check your insulin, make sure that's properly like decreasing your like glucose level. You know?
I have another question. I'm sorry, Ken. I
That's okay.
just
No,
keep
no, no, it's
coming up
okay.
with these questions. Uh, what about like the pills? Some people say they don't like these big pills because I don't take a lot of big pills. Could you? What was the thing you said before you could do with the pills? Slice it or something?
Oh no, you were talking about crushing.
Crushing. That's a good question. Some medications you can crush. Some of them you shouldn't crush at all.
So how do
Um,
you know?
so you would have to ask the pharmacist, depending, right? But
Yeah, I
even
can
with
help.
that,
I can
yeah,
help a little bit with
yeah,
that
go
too.
ahead.
Because what happens? Some medication they start absorption in the mouth,
Yes.
and then it goes down. But some coated medication,
Mm-hmm.
for example, if you're coated, it wants you want absorption to take place in the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you don't want to crush those kind of medication.
Yeah.
So and like I said before, you have to follow your doctor's order when they're taking this medication, and also the pharmacists,
Mm-hmm.
they will give you printouts. Now we're lucky that you can get printouts of taking of the safety of taking medication.
Mm-hmm.
So that's correct. Coated medication, you don't want to crush them.
Right. Right. That's
Right?
exactly right.
You
Yeah.
let it go down and absorption take
Yeah.
place in the stomach.
Yeah.
Okay, Ken. Both of you, this question's for. When a wow, this mic got me screaming. When you take a medication, is there like, say it's 9 o'clock, I'm supposed to take the medicine. I got busy, and I want to take the medicine at 10 o'clock. Can I take it at 10 o'clock, or if I miss the whole day, can I take it 2 times?
Oh,
How,
that's
how do I
an
do this?
amazing question.
I would
That
let you
is an
take going with yours,
amazing
and then I'll take mine.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question because that's an amazing question. So for the first scenario, right, you usually take it at 9 p.m., but you want to take it at 10 p.m. That is,
Well, you forgot.
yeah, you forgot, but then you remembered. So yes, typically as soon as you remember, you take it. But if the timing is closer to your next dose, you take it, you wait, and you wait for your next dose. So meaning like if you wanted to take at 9 p.m., but you forgot like the next day at like let's say in the morning, right? You would wait it out until 9 p.m.
Oh, so you don't take it in the morning?
You
You
don't take
wait
it in
till
the
the next time?
you wait it until the next like
Why?
yeah, because you there's a thing called therapeutic range.
Explain,
Yeah.
explain.
Yeah,
Therapeutic
so
range.
like when like you want it to be consistently on time or else like the levels will drop or like increase
And
depending on whichever.
what we want to patients to know too.
Mhm.
Um, I understand and agree with what you're saying, but as from a nursing point of view, medication you could give 1 hour before and 1 hour after, and that's perfect. They could take it.
Yeah.
Um, the thing is that some people ask me as a nurse, well, I missed my 10 o'clock dose this morning. Can I take the 10 o'clock morning one at 10 p.m.? So take two doses one time,
Right.
and
Right. Yeah.
absolutely you cannot do that.
Yeah.
You should
Yep.
only take one medication.
Yep.
Um, so it's a no-no. And it's better for you. For example, if it's pain medication, a whole different story.
Yes.
Like you can take it when you remember, but don't go and take another one later on in the evening
Yeah.
if it's a once a day medication,
Yeah.
because the doctor and the pharmacist know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. You never want to like really double up on a dose
Right.
just to catch up. That's not
Right.
really how you should do it. You should
Right.
just like think of it as a
I'm
team.
just talking reality because these things have happened.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
that's why we are talking about it
You
today.
know, they do happen.
Yep, for
And
sure.
a lot of times, medicine is not taken correctly.
Mhm.
And that's why we're not getting the benefits of feeling better quicker
Mhm.
because we're not taking the medicine correctly. So that's why I asked you to really explain how we should take our medicine. If we forget how we should take it, the foods, if they, they affect us. But I guess it all depends on the person and what the problem
Yep.
is.
So that's why like the patient printout that you get on the medication
Right, right,
gives you
right.
all that information that you ask, and also you can always just ask the pharmacist and just keep a mental note. But you should always take the medication as directed
Right.
by your doctor, unless you're noticing that you're not improving, two, it's getting worse, or three, you're getting a reaction to it.
Well, like this patient had taken the medicine for years, over 10, and they never questioned the doctor because the doctor said they knew what they were doing. So at what point do you stop and say, you know what, I'm still not feeling better. Maybe I
Yeah.
need to change my doctor,
Yeah.
or maybe we need to change this regimen
Yeah,
because it's just
the
clearly
moment
not
you
working.
actually, as a patient, the moment you start questioning, like, is my doctor actually doing his job? Just get a second opinion. It's okay, you know, and then see what they say, and then get tested again, and then like you can get different type of regimen.
And I want to add to that you make sure you talk to your doctor before you stop taking that medication.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Some people like to play doctor and I'm going to stop take this. No. And I want to go back to taking double up on dose of medication. Things like cogentin, not cogentin, digoxin for your heart.
Oh,
You take that to slow your heart down, but you don't want to take too much, two at one time to just kill you,
oh my God.
Yeah,
Really?
that's very
right?
dangerous.
Double
Yeah,
dosage.
because what it does, it just strengthens your heartbeat and lower your heartbeat. So
Yeah,
you don't. I remember my nursing back in the day.
yeah, you're
So
really good.
you don't want to do
You
that.
would get a
Yeah.
heart attack.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
You
that's not
no, you
good.
stop breathing. You will.
Oh,
Um,
automatic.
yeah, you will compromise your heart rate, and that's what you don't want to do. So you
Definitely
have
not.
to be very careful when you have heart problem, heart issues, and even things like taking Viagra and have problem. But we're not going to touch
Oh,
that
we'll
yet.
touch that another time.
Another
Viagra.
time.
You
Okay.
men
Um,
and
you
Viagra.
want to go with your next question?
Oh, what is my
Oh,
next question?
allergic to medication.
What
Yes,
to? Well, I thought we did touch
we,
that
we, we
already.
did
Well, we
that
could
already.
touch it again a little
Okay.
bit. What do you do when you have an allergic reaction? I think we did touch
Yeah,
that.
we talk about
Yeah,
that.
it
We
depends on
we
the
did.
type. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we did talk
yeah,
about
we
it.
did talk a lot about that.
You know, we could play a song if you have
No,
a nice song.
we only have 20 minutes more to go.
Yeah,
And I want to make sure that since we have the doctor here, the authority here, I want to make sure that we get all these questions done and we'll play a song. What do you think?
yeah, of course.
All right.
Sure. What about the viewers? Can we say
Yeah. Is there
hi?
any questions that the viewers
Oh,
The
have?
viewers may have questions.
let me say, we got Anita Ishdaulat Ram is watching from Canada. Good evening to you. Um, Bansi Prasad, thank you for watching. Sun, thank you for watching. And Sabu, good evening. She's watching from Canada. I'm sure she's learning a lot in Canada about this. Also, we have Rowena Lal, thank you very much. And Ryan Jeffrey, thank you very much. David M. Singh, Thank you very much. And then we see Bibi Bajnot. Thank you for watching. The thing is that we're talking to Dr. Dr. Shaggy. I like the Shaggy. I think about
Like Sean
like
Paul.
Sean Paul. Not. And like I said, I'm always proud of when we have
Dr.
young
Shaggy.
people that's going to school, taking their education, and you in just your 20s. So you're a great role model, not only for yourself, for people around in the community, but so much the world. Because here it is, a young guy is a doctor, and probably one day I'll interview you and see how we could help young people to be um, great guys in the world.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
just
you doesn't
recently.
look like you drink and smoke and all these things. So
Funny enough, I used to. I mean, my college days, I like to party,
yeah.
right? Yeah, but I don't do that anymore though.
Oh, okay.
I used to like drink socially, and
Yes.
yeah, that's about it. But I
Yes.
stopped. I stopped drinking
You-
So,
because I like
you grew up over here?
I
Tell us a little bit about yourself
oh yeah, sure.
and
So
your journey.
yeah,
Maybe you could inspire another person.
oh that'd be cool. So I was born in Bangladesh.
Mhm.
I moved here when I was 3. Pretty much I was raised in Brooklyn. You know, went through schooling. Fitting in was always hard for me because I'm a brown guy, and I was like the high schools and middle school and elementary school. It was like predominantly like like Americans, right?
Right.
So I was typically always the only brown kid. So growing up with that, it was kind of interesting. But then college, I went to pharmacy school, uh, and I just I don't know. For me, it's just like I pursued pharmacy just because of the hat thing, but also like I eventually started to like really like it, you know. And then I'm just like, okay, this is cool, and I just like learning in general. So those are aspects that I like to do. I just like learning in general.
The maths.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, the math's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you gotta like to learn, right? If you're gonna be a pharmacy and a doctor pharmacist.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
I'm already at the like already graduated in 2020. Then COVID hit, which was crazy, and
mhm.
then I had to take my board exams, and then I got blessed with an opportunity to own a pharmacy with like my mentor, which is really cool.
Well, tell us more about that journey of owning the pharmacy with your mentor.
Yeah, so funny enough, the connection I like how I met him was kind of funny. It's always like, so it was my friend's coworker's brother-in-law, his his business partner. We pretty much got introduced through that, and then he has this opportunity for me, and I was like, oh, this sounds cool. So I just took it because I'm like I'm
You're very
interested in
laid
like
back. You're
yeah,
like,
I'm
okay.
like interested in like new experiences. I didn't want to do the typical like 9 to 5 thing. No shame in that. But like for me, I have like ADHD, so I get bored quick. So like also had experience in Dwayne Reed, so I see what the workflow is like, and I'm just like I can do better. You know what I mean? So I'd rather have the pharmacy in my own hands and actually like take care of people the right way.
Yep.
Right, that's so good. And you know what? You pharmacies work really hard. I didn't realize how hard you guys work till I looked it up. How hard you guys really work. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you so much.
You can't be lazy if you're working in a pharmacy. Definitely
Um.
not a job for a lazy person.
True.
Now, for the young people out here, like Ken is talking about, it's so exciting.
Oh, I'm
He
young.
went into a hat. So this is what you got to do. I think this is a secret ingredient, okay? You get a hat, pick out 5 careers, go in the hat, and pick one and learn about it. Maybe
Yeah.
that might be the career for you.
Yeah,
Do it.
just have like
We
a
got to do things that are not conventional.
yeah,
Yeah.
have a mindset of like have an open mindset towards anything. You know what I mean? Just
Honest living.
yeah,
And you might
Honestly.
just find your purpose.
yeah.
And so I said you are from the Modern Pharmacy, and that's 9502 Van Wyck Expressway, South Richmond Hill, and that's New York 11419. And you could get them at 917-764-8038, and we will post this on our
Right. That's the fax number.
Jesus. Oh, the fact. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You could call them, sorry, at 888-585-6874, and you could fax them at 917-764-8038. Um, people with children and so on, how do we really store these medication
I'm sorry.
to prevent accidental death?
Oh,
The
so
storage of medication.
storage. Okay, yeah, yeah, that's perfect. I recommend to never put your medication in the bathroom because
Mm,
moisture is
mm.
really dangerous to the medication. And also like it's easily accessible to right to kids. So just open the cabinet, oh what's this? Right.
And when
I
people come,
think
they could
most
see that you're taking
people
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, people do
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
people
exactly.
go in your bathroom and look at your medication
Yeah.
cabinet. That's true.
and they see
Yeah.
what you take.
So I would say like put in like a cabinet in your personal room somewhere safe. And if it's like a little child, just put it in top shelf, you know?
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
That
or
makes sense. But I've always put my medicine in the bathroom cabinet. Oh my
yeah, I
god.
wouldn't recommend it because
Wow.
when you shower, the moisture in the air can like no matter how good the container is, it'll get into the
Oh, wow.
medication.
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
so you want to avoid that.
See, this is why we need to know these
Yeah,
things.
it should be in a cool, dark area, but not in the bathroom.
What about Bengay?
Bengay's, yeah, Bengay doesn't
That's
really,
hey,
that's not really
you can put
medication.
that any part of the
Yeah, you can
house.
put that anywhere.
Epsom salt.
That's fine. Yeah.
Um,
Just medication in general.
yeah. When we talk about medication, we talk about aspirin, Tylenol, Motrin,
Pills that you
whatever
would
it is.
take.
Pills,
Um,
vitamins too. You know.
You know, a lot of people. I don't know if you. I'm sure you know. A lot of people who want to throw away their medication
Oh.
Mm.
in the garbage
Mhm.
or in the flush. Most people flush the toilet. They think down the toilet.
That's not
What's your take?
my take. Absolutely do not flush your medication
Why would you want to flush it down the toilet?
because that actually affects all of us because it goes into the sewer system
Right.
and it can only filter out the sewer system can only filter out so much because the tap water is eventually the same sewage
Right,
water, right?
exactly.
There's actually a phenomenon with women who are on birth control. They when they urinate, the hormone actually goes into the toilet, and from there, that can't be filtered out. So when you're drinking tap water, there's actually more estrogen in the water.
Mm,
Yeah, this is a real thing. So that's why I
wow.
don't recommend flushing
Medication.
medication and to get like a water filter. But that's just like a separate topic. The best way to dispose of it is next time you go to the pharmacy, just give them your old medication. They'll take care of it.
Oh,
And
really?
what about needles?
Needles,
Like if you're on insulin
right.
or you're
Uh,
gotta test your blood sugar.
you would purchase a sharps container and you can do one of two things. There's always a number on the sharps container to call to like pick it up for them to pick it up or something. Or two, again, just give it to the pharmacist. Just let them deal with it, you know, because they have
Yeah.
to dispose of it anyways.
Can you put them in like in big bottles that you have home and put it in the garbage?
No, I wouldn't recommend that either because a lot of reasons. Like you don't know who's going through your garbage. That's a weird
They
thing,
should not
but
even
that's
go
the
in the
thing.
garbage.
I know, I know, I know. But that's the thing though. That's why like a lot of like you know, unfortunately homeless people they go through the garbage just to see what pills they can find. Uh, I mean, technically you can do that, but the best proper procedure is to just return it to the pharmacy.
Okay, let them do it. I mean,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. I
Yeah.
totally
But
agree
it's
with
something I never thought about. The homeless people that would go through the garbage.
Yeah, I've heard
I
of
thought
it
they
happen.
look for food, but they look
Yeah.
for pills too
They look
and
for, I mean,
needles.
it depends on
Wow.
the type of person. Obviously, there are like, you know, some very struggling people who are looking for food and stuff. But then there's also,
No, I've never.
you know,
You don't really think about these things. Every
yeah,
day you work, you do what you gotta do,
you
and you
go with
throw
the
things in the
motions.
garbage. But you don't think, hey, somebody may go through the garbage and they can get hurt with the stuff we're putting it in there.
Also animals too.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah,
Yeah,
animals
dogs
too.
and
Dogs,
rats and all these
dogs,
things.
cats,
Oh,
raccoons.
don't talk about rats. Oh,
Oh
God.
God.
The other thing is that um, a lot of people, I got patients who tell me, listen, I start taking antibiotic 2 days and I start to feel better. Can I stop taking the medication? What's your thing?
My take is to finish it completely because although you're starting to feel better, that doesn't mean the virus or bacteria is gone completely. So
Right.
you have to finish it all the way through, unless you start getting like side effects or something. But
Right.
you have to. It's very recommended to finish the full regimen because you want to really eliminate whatever is causing you to be sick.
Yeah.
But if you just take it and that means it's like assisting your body to fighting it off. The moment you start feeling better and then you stop taking it, the bacteria is just going to get stronger because
Right.
it got used to the medication you took. So you really want to just kill it off rip. So like I would recommend always finish it thoroughly.
Kill it dead.
Kill it dead.
Yes. Another thing that she probably not privy to this. We have people who, and I'm going to just go make a general statement, and you can dive into things. Now, we have people who came from different parts of the world who don't have insurance.
Oh.
Um, and also, we have medication that's so expensive that people cannot afford to pay for these things.
Mhm.
What advice do you have for these kind of people?
Gotcha. So what our pharmacy does is we actually have copay assistance programs. So if you're uninsured or your insurance doesn't really cover it, depending on the medication, what we do is we like have like special contracts with the manufacturer or whatever. And through their programs, we like assist them in their like, cause think about it, the pharmaceutical company also wants to help.
Right.
I mean, yes, they have a bad rep. Don't get me wrong. You
Right.
know, profit. There, some a lot of things is like profit over patients, which is very not cool. But ideally, they want to help the patient, so they do have copay assistance programs, and that's what we help with. And
Well, that's good to know. I don't think many people know about that option.
yeah, chain
Tell us
pharmacies
more
don't
about
really.
that,
Yeah,
how
sure.
a person could come to your pharmacy and how you could help them fill out the forms to assist them in getting help to get their medicine if
Yeah,
they
of course,
cannot afford.
of course.
There's a lot of people out here right now that need the help
Yes.
and may not know where to go to get it. I'm just going to repeat your information one more time, and
Okay.
then you can give us the answer how you can help the
Sounds
patient.
good.
The name of the pharmacy is Modern Pharmacy Incorporated. It's at 9502 Van Wyck Expressway, South Richmond Hill, New York, 11419. And their phone number is 888 585 6874. I'm going to repeat the number. It's 888 585 6874. And to fax them, you can fax them at 917 764 8038. Again, the fax number is 917 764 8038, and it's Modern Pharmacy Incorporated, 9502 Van Wyck Expressway, South Richmond Hill, New York, 11419.
Yep. Uh, I lost my train of thought. What was the
The
question?
question was, how can a
Oh,
person, I gave them the information how to contact you,
sure.
how can they get help and how can you assist them?
Right.
What would they need to bring with them when they come to see you?
Gotcha. So a couple factors. It depends on what the medication is. If it's like a brand new, brand name medication, it's still gonna be most likely expensive because that's just the nature of the medication. But if
But
it's
can you
something,
work out something with them?
yeah, it'll definitely be less than what the actual or like medication price is. You know, I've seen medications drop from like 1,300 to like half the price, to like 500. So that we can work with that. Also, if it's like only like generic medications and they don't have insurance, we will give match like a fair pricing for them that like benefits everybody because unfortunately pharmacy is a business, so we do have to like add like a little percentage just for us. I'm
Right.
being very transparent here. That's like any pharmacy would no
Right.
pharmacy would really tell you that, but that's true, just a little bit.
Well, you know what? You get something for being honest.
Yeah.
And honesty and loyalty to the clients. I appreciate that. I like to know that my pharmacist is looking out for me. I don't know about you,
Yeah.
Ken, right? It makes sense because
Yeah.
you're giving me my medicine that's going to supposedly make me better.
Yeah.
So I want you to be honest.
Yeah.
That just came to my mind that wasn't on the list is with the medicine, the like say I take oh God, I'm trying to think of a medicine. I can't think of a medicine, but I'm gonna give you a really lame example here. Just try to work with me. Say metformin. I can't think of another brand. I can think of a brand name.
Mhm.
The generic to say not metformin because there's only one metformin.
I know what you say.
Is it how much better is it to use it? Because sometimes
Oh, I
the
see.
original is better than the generic.
Okay,
I
okay,
believe.
gotcha.
What she's trying to say, right, and I get that all the time. The patient will get brand name. You have brand name and
Mhm.
generic name.
Mhm.
Now, people say, no, I don't want the generic. I
Mhm.
just want the brand name.
Mhm.
So what the take with that?
Yeah, I'm
I,
one of those people.
yeah. So, okay. So the brand name is basically the original, the OG, right? It's the first thing that came out, and then after a certain part within that drug contract, it gets like open to the public, rather like meaning that like other manufacturers can make it, and that's how it becomes generic. So basically, the difference between brand and generic is really the inactive ingredients. Other than that, it's essentially the same.
Same thing.
Clinically, it's essentially the same,
Right.
but psychologically, a lot of patients notice a
Right.
difference. And there's a thing called placebo
So
effect.
if it's, well, I know about the placebo thing
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
When you say psychological, I don't believe that. Because why does it cost more for one and less for the other? Why did the generic come in because more people can't afford it? I don't believe that.
Okay,
I
so
think that's just a mental thing to make us think that it's going to work psychologically.
Hmm.
Because why did they have the original to begin with? And
Oh,
now they're bringing this and saying it's similar. So why not get rid of the original?
well, it's completely different companies. That's why. So a brand name medication is like new medication. It's like something for a new disease state, right? So after they like these companies, they can monopolize that, but because of governmental regulations,
So it goes
eventually,
back to money.
yeah, yeah, of
But
course, everything goes back to money, honestly. But at a certain point, it has to be generic. It has to be open to like the other companies to make it. So they create their own version, which is literally the same active ingredient,
I'm not
but
saying
like with
don't
the
care. The
but
government don't care
yeah.
but
as long as they're making a profit.
but from what I understand, right? It's that, as you said, no matter whatever name you call it, the brand name, generic name, it has the same thing inside.
How can it? It
Um,
can't. They have to have
that's what
something
they're
more.
saying. That's what
Yeah, so
studies
this is
have
why I
shown.
said like clinically it is exactly the same. And I guess I made too much of a blanket statement with the
No, there may
psychological
be
thing.
one or two ingredients that might not be the same.
And that's what I'm trying to explain. The inactive ingredients is what's different.
Right, and yeah,
The
that's what he said.
fillers.
And I'm glad we're talking about it. It's, for example, like for example, they will make something. The ingredients are there,
Hmm.
like say the apple and the oranges is in there, but then they some will take bread and make it into a dough and give it to you,
Yeah.
and then somebody will take something that's more expensive and
Yeah.
that's more tasty. And
Can I add on to that?
right, go ahead.
What?
So like apples and oranges and like let's say the brand name uses apple, oranges, and white bread. The
Right,
generic would be apple, oranges, and sourdough.
right.
Same
Okay.
thing.
Same thing.
Well, you know what I don't like recently? Now you're making me think. The light bulb's coming on here. They got this medicine, and I'm aggravated with it because I keep trying to get the regular pills because I'm a diabetic and I can't have too much sugar. And now all the medicine that I see on the TV advertisements, oh, have this gummy bear for vitamin C. Have this gummy bear for vitamin D. Have this gummy bear for whatever, magnesium.
Mhm.
These gummy bears, why do we care as a society that the medicine tastes good? It's medicine.
Yeah.
The medicine that tastes the worst is better for us. But we want this stuff to taste good. Why is that? Look, we don't need gummy bears. I'm sorry, I'm not on the promotion of gummy bears because I'm a diabetic. My diabetes went up the roof from drinking this one a day vitamin C with sugar gummy.
Mm.
But we know as diabetics, you shouldn't be really taking anything that have a lot of sugar inside. That's why it's important
So why
to
is it a
read
vitamin that's a
to
gummy?
to read the labels
Yeah.
when you're taking stuff, right?
Yeah.
Read the
Um,
labels.
but the gummy bear thing is mainly for like patients who just like they're not diabetic, but they don't want to take pills, so they just take gummies.
And it tastes
Yeah,
good.
and
Tastes good.
eventually they will become a diabetic with taking that. You know how much sugar is in that gummy bear pills?
Yeah.
It's not advisable for anyone to take the gummies. Take the regular pill. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not saying this is my opinion. I got more sick from taking the gummy bears because they had so much sugar in it. And it says it's a vitamin C. Oh, vitamin C, it tastes yummy.
Mm.
All right, we just got
So,
1 minute more to go.
so the pills.
Pills versus
We'll leave it
gummies.
off at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, listen to your doctor, ask questions to your pharmacist. Yeah.
Right, and today's show is about sharing our experience, all three of our experience. And like Dr. Knott is saying, is that if you want information, go to your doctor and talk to your pharmacist. We'll just bring in some information for you guys. Of course, it is true information we're talking about, an honest opinion. But you know what? Like I always tell people, we don't want to get sued, so do the right thing. Get your information. Soma, a very good evening to you. Selena, a very good evening to you. Thank you very much for watching. And Stanley Ramsaran, a very good evening to you too. Tara Singh, good evening to you. Geeta Ramprasad was watching. Felicia Kanai, a very good evening to you. Sandra Prasad, good evening to you too. And we got Shamiza, Shamir, good evening to you too. Who else? Did we miss anybody? I hope we didn't miss anybody, but it was not our intention. Again, I am so proud of you, Doc. And I hope that we can. This is the beginning of a lot of great adventure for us, because um, I'm a busy guy, by the way,
Yeah.
and it's like I have to break tooth and nails to to do the show today. I worked till 3 o'clock today.
Oh my God.
Came home,
You
take
had challenges
lay
too.
down, rest a little bit, and came back. So it's challenging, but it's rewarding.
Yeah.
Um,
Stimulating.
it's
That's what
stimulating,
it's
and I'm
nice.
glad that we do this. And definitely, we will work some things together in our community. There are some things that we need to address in this community,
Mhm.
and one of the thing that I really want to talk about, that I'm an addiction nurse. I work right in the Van Wyck.
Okay.
So I have found like 5 patients died already with opioid overdose.
Hmm.
So I would like, in my mind, I would want to do something in the community on a community base, not on the radio, and to talk about things like Narcan,
Yeah.
why it is important to have Narcan, but we're not gonna give them the answer today.
Yeah. Okay.
While why should it's important to have these things? So we will. Well, Linda is on now, and so I have my other co-host,
Hmm.
radical artist. She's an actress, and we will have a show on Monday nights. So we'll come together and we will try to do something in the near future, probably next month on um, opioids. Let's address opioids
Yeah.
overdose in our community.
For sure. For
A
sure.
lot of Guyanese, Bangladesh, Indians don't know about these things,
Hmm.
and because I'm in the nest
Hmm.
of all of these things,
Yeah.
I would love to bring up this into the forefront to talk about it. So get read up a little
Yeah. Of
about
course.
what you could do as a
Yeah. I'll check out my
pharmacist.
notes. Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
and go ahead. Well, we
okay.
could say something in
Well,
closing. You can.
sure. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you for having
Thank
me.
you. I'm very glad that you came. I'm very glad I had a challenging time too today. See, sometimes good things we get challenged. Happy Navratri, everyone. May Ma Durga bless us all with health, strength, and prosperity. And may we be better people and maybe learn better ways to help humanity, to make this world a better place. And let's be kind to each other always. Thank you so much from Ken and Linda and watching the Fusion Vibes show on Island Zone Radio. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry I wasn't able to say hi to everyone, but we do appreciate your support. And we will be on every 2 weeks of the month, the beginning and the middle of the month, until we figure out if we want to come on more. But our main agenda is to make a difference and to have the audience participate as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact us and let us know what you'd like to hear us talk about, what questions you have about medicine, because we will have Shaggy come back again and we will go over some more questions. So this is just our first segment. We have a lot more to come, and are gonna. I'm gonna just give you a little bit of what we're gonna talk about in recent shows to come. We will have music too, because I know sometimes you're driving down the highway coming from work and you want some music to keep you going. But we're gonna be talking about diabetics, nutrition, and we're going to talk about how to keep your heart healthy. A lot of people eat a lot of fatty foods, so a lot of that would probably go under nutrition. But we're going to talk about different topics, mostly to help motivate and inspire each other, because we could all be inspired. I want to be inspired. You want to be inspired. We could all learn from each other.
Hmm.
And let's all live a healthy life. We don't have to be 80 and struggling to walk. We don't have to have diabetes, I mean, not controlled. We could still live life. And that's something that I know many of you don't know, but I'm fighting to get out of this depression. And I'm working hard because it really doesn't help you to grow. So you have to do things that you love. And that's why, Ken, I'm very grateful for you to have me on this show. Touch my heart.
Oh, mm,
Thank you for being supportive.
oh,
It's okay. You're good. You're good. You're good.
don't worry. I got you.
I can't talk no more.
All right. So this show is God of mercy. I get another co-host who cries.
Oh my
And
gosh.
God, Jesus, we cry, baby. So I was hoping that it will be, but our goal is the same. And so I am so glad that Dr. Knott is here, and that we inspire him that he would want to come back again,
Hmm.
and definitely that we would want to talk about things like diabetes and depression medication,
Hmm.
and to talk about so many different things. And the truth of the matter is that you guys, oh God, it was
I'm
like
sorry.
it
It's
was
okay.
um
God made me do this show.
Hmm.
like And I'm so glad that you choose me to be your co-host too, because, I'm. It's tough. It's not easy doing these shows. You got to read so many things, and but at the end of the day, that I wanted you to. I got your back, and I want to help you, and I know how important it is to have for you to come on this show today. Oh God, you crying for
I'm
truth.
Oh
sorry.
man.
But don't worry, and I'm so glad that we gonna do things together.
Yeah.
Um, we will do some community-based things. That's my goal. Um, like I said, we will sit down and we'll talk about some of the things. You could talk where you want to address,
Yeah.
based on the community base, and so we could address things
Yeah.
and things. So thank you everyone for watching. I know that it's after work now. People just share it and let people get to watch it later on. It's important, and thanks everyone. Omati, thank you very much for watching. That boy, Lord, every day is a battle, but yes, we fight. We do everything to keep this going. And I'm gonna play a song for one of my favorite songs.
Oh, thanking you for sharing your
Oh,
information.
Yeah, of course. I actually wanted to talk to you.
oh, you want to talk?
Oh no, no,
Oh, go ahead,
no,
talk.
no, I was just gonna
No,
say,
talk. You
like,
can
I
talk.
just want to like,
I'm sorry.
comfort. Like, I don't want
That's
you to feel like you're
not.
alone with the depression thing. I actually take antidepressants, which is so don't feel alone. Don't feel like closed off. It's actually better to open
Well,
up.
I closed
Just,
myself off when I got
oh,
sick for a long time.
So we will talk. I don't know what happened. The music is not sounding, but that's okay. Um, we will talk. Join us for our next segment. Radhika and myself, we will continue our show sometime this month. We're heading off somewhere. I don't know where we're going to head in sometime this week. And good night, Kenneth Ramprasad and my dear sister Linda Singh. And also, we want to thank, more importantly, our star tonight is Dr. Shaggy Knott.
thank you.
We are just facilitator of this, and he is the star. So reach out to the pharmacy and get any information you want. All right. Thank you very much, and have a good night, everyone.
Take care, guys.
Take care.